gambling's everywhere, and it's considered legal, and it has been destigmatized in so many ways. And so the fact that, frankly, it's taken as long as it has to see these situations play out, it suggests to me that, not that this is the tip of the iceberg, but that this is going to be something that continues to rear its ugly head, because there's just societally now, gambling is not nearly the thing it once was.
That's Jeff Passan, ESPN Baseball Insider, talking about where we are in contemporary American society with sports and gambling. He's right. It is everywhere. And when it permeates into the locker rooms, and now we've seen basically, I'm not going to say scandals, but we've seen incidents in every sport, including right here in Arizona. Yesterday during the show, we got news that Andrew Saalfrank, one of 5 baseball players suspended by Major League Baseball from some bets he made back when he was a minor leaguer. And, he gets a year suspension. We had a lifetime ban handed out to a Padres infielder for making hundreds of bets on the teams that he played for. Torey Lovullo apparently found out that one of his players was getting popped on Monday night, found out Tuesday who it was. And before yesterday's game against the San Francisco Giants, Lovullo was asked about the Andrew Saalfrank situation.
Andrew made a bad decision. Andrew, and I don't want to speak for the other players. I do know Andrew. He made a bad decision. The rules are very clearly outlined. They're told to the players several times during spring training. There's something on the wall in spring training that prohibits betting. And the reason is simple. We have to protect the integrity of this game. Andrew knew that. He understood that. And he made a really bad decision.
It was a bad decision. You don't think about the ramifications of that decision when you're in the low minor leagues, that it's going to affect you sometime down the road. What I can't – look, I know this is an addiction for a lot of people. An addiction – people have different thoughts on addiction.
Addiction is a disease.
Yes, it is.
You're getting into a tricky realm. Yes.
But I just don't understand how anybody could come to that conclusion and think, oh, they're not going to catch me. Of course they're going to catch you.
Yes, I do.
Everything gets flagged.
Yeah. In the case of Andrew Saalfrank, I started thinking about it after the show yesterday, and I went back kind of over his chronology last year, and nobody is going to say he was a pivotal member of a World Series runner-up team, but he had his moments, and he was in 11 of 12 postseason games, I think the stat is.
Yeah.
So that means every high-leverage game that the Diamondbacks played, we saw Andrew Saalfrank, if only for a batter, maybe 2, and he was, for the most part, pretty darn good. This is a guy that got called up in September, made his debut in the heat of a playoff push. I remember very well his Major League debut. He retired 5 Rockies. His parents were in the stands. He left to a standing ovation. It was one of those great baseball moments. And the fact that this happened to him, and his career now has been derailed for really nickel and dime bets he placed before 2023 while he was at a low A affiliate.
Yes.
It's really sad. And it's really stupid. I'm not absolving him from it. It's also just really, really sad. And again, we talk about this all the time. The personal accountability thing here, it's really at the forefront, and people have to take responsibilities for their actions. I always have believed that. But I still find it somewhat untoward that every major professional sport and every major media outlet is basically bombarding this country with advertising. Go gamble, it's fun. Look at this incentive. Your first bets are free. Did they have to do both? Did they have to legalize it and then really bombard the general public with advertisements urging people to gamble?
I mean, hold it up against the alcohol industry. It's a separate addiction. It's another vice. The American public, the American society is very much geared towards it. I participate. I've fallen into that.
I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't blame these sports leagues at all for the actions of whether it's this Jonte Porter kid in Toronto.
That is a wild story.
It's a wild ass story. And this Tucapita which Jared does at Greek restaurants, Tukapita. This kid who who bet $150,000 and won 4% of his bets. At some point in time, don't you go, God, I suck at this.
I'm not good at this.
I'm going to stop this.
I need another hobby.
Yeah, but again, I think the leagues have gone from 0 to 100 this was the third rail, and now it is come get a piece of the fun, folks. And you're seeing it all day long, and athletes aren't immune to it. And even though there's signs on clubhouses' walls and they're told you can't do it, you're a young baseball player, and it's like, I'm the only one who can't do this? Well, yes, you can.
Yeah,
you're the one in charge of the competition. You can't. But I can see where some of these kids get wayward.
I get it, too. Signs don't prevent bad decisions.
No.
They just don't.
They don't.
In any walk of life, they don't prevent bad decisions.
And he might even be thinking like, I'm betting $20 here, $50 there.
Right, this won't flag anything.
Yeah,
right?
what's like the big deal? They're not going to care about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, if you're an athlete, depending on the league you belong to, you can still bet on sports, just not your own.
That's right.
Yes.
In baseball, you are still allowed to bet on college basketball, the NFL,
Absolutely.
NHL, whatever.
Absolutely.
Just not your own sport.
Yep. Here was more from Torey Lavello.
What I do know is about the human being. I do know Andrew is remorseful. He knows he made a mistake. I haven't talked to him, but people might talk to him, and he's explained to me what he said. He feels terrible, but he is going to pay the correct consequences. He's going to be suspended for one entire year away from his baseball team, and that's painful for him and painful for us. So all we can do is continue to encourage him to do the right thing, learn from this, and we'll see him again. We will definitely meet again.
Yeah, and going back to your point on whether or not he was a pivotal member, I think he was. I think Andrew Saalfrank was huge down the stretch. He pitched in 10 regular season games from September 5th on. They won 6 of those games. The margin to get in the playoffs was so tiny that you can make an argument they don't get to the playoffs, they don't get to the World Series without the contributions of Andrew Saalfrank.
I just don't want to put him in the same kind of category as the other guy, the frontline players who were responsible for it. I acknowledge it. I just don't want to be the,
Yes, but he was also, when that bullpen came together, he was a part of it. And now, not only do you not have him developing in the minor leagues, you won't have him for a playoff push should you get there this year if you're the Diamondbacks, but he's away from the organization for a full year. So that's a pitcher trying to find his way on his own. It's terrible for Andrew Saalfrank. It's not great for the Diamondbacks.
Well, he's gonna carry a stigma now that's going to be attached to him, and people are going to question his judgment going forward. And he stalled out his career. I mean, like you said, he's coming off a very, very, very promising rookie season, as brief as it was with the Diamondbacks, and now this. It's a sad deal, and again, nobody outside of Arizona really cares about Andrew Saalfrank, just as we don't care about Tukapita Mercado.
Took a beating, Marcano.
Right, Marcano. We don't care about him either. The day is going to come when somebody big is going to be involved in this, and he's going to bet legally through a friend, and that friend's going to rat him out, and all hell's going to break loose. You write it down. It's going to happen.
By the way, the Ipe case is conveniently closed as far as Major League Baseball is concerned.
Yeah.
Really sprinted through that one.
Yeah.
Nothing to see here.
All it took was a guilty plea. We don't need to investigate anymore.
No,
it was just a guilty plea.
Thanks for watching Bickley and Marotta. Click to see the latest Bickley Blast and hit the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.